What better way for a son and father to bond over than their mutual love for the Dallas Cowboys? Hi, I'm Michael Davis with my dad, Mac. We're a star-studded son and dad duo on the star-studded Cowboys Network, powered by Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting. And this is Dad and the Boys. Well, hey there. I told you last week we're not going to try to jinx it right before a game. We're not wearing Cowboys apparel. Technically,
well,
that
it's
doesn't
the
count.
Cowboy Harley Davidson out in Austin, Texas apparel.
So what we're able to do is we have a very special episode because the Dallas Cowboys play a Thursday night football game. We had a episode on Tuesday. This is a Thursday afternoon. And then by popular demand, thanks Booking Like a Mark, we'll be back Saturday for, recapping whatever happens tonight during the Giants-Cowboys game. Obviously, I'll be talking about it on Out of Pocket if you're watching on Boom Broadcasting. And if you're listening on Fans First Sports Network, thank you. We just appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to enjoy this episode, enjoy this podcast. So the Cowboys...
Now, you said we're doing a show today, Thursday, and another show on Friday?
Saturday.
Okay. Right.
In case something happens tonight, I need a full 24 hours to gather my thoughts.
Yeah. I've seen several things that said, if this goes off the rails tonight, then there might be a press conference Friday on the mothership, by the way. But they were just hinting at it, folks. I do not foresee anything happening with Mike McCarthy or any coaching changes at this point. The good news is, though, after this game, we do kind of get a mini bye where we can get some guys healthy, and we can also, do some tweaks. I mean, we do it all the time in our bye week, but, we've got 2 road games coming up with
the New York Giants,
right now, and then the Steelers, who are winning.
Yep, and that'll even be a Sunday night football game. So we'll get pretty much our most amount of rest through this. But, this is a divisional game. This isn't the Eagles. This isn't the Commanders. Those are probably 2 of the hotter NFC East teams right now. But we get the Giants on the road. We were looking at the injury report coming in, and there's a little bit of a concern because Marquise Bell is doubtful as of now, as we're recording this episode, and Kalen Carson is also doubtful, which makes it difficult, Dad, because here's why. We're already missing Deron Bland, and to go down another corner in Kalen Carson, starting corner, now we would be left with Trayvon Diggs, we would be left with Jordan Lewis, and C.J. Goodwin. And
Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth.
And I don't know if they've got anybody on the practice squad that they'll be elevating or something at cornerback or not. But the one thing I do not want to see, I love Goodwin, but I do not want to see him playing cornerback in the game. If it does, then we are probably in trouble. He's a great special teams player, but cornerback, he is not a position I want to see him playing throughout a game of any sort.
It would not be what I prefer either. In addition, the Giants have some of their issues. Darius Slayton, as of right now, when we're talking, he's questionable. Adoree Jackson and Drew Phillips, both defensive backs for the Giants, they are listed as out. So the Giants dealing with their own issues.
Yeah, and there again, Darius Slayton, he's historically given the Cowboys issues throughout. A heck of a slot receiver, a good little receiver against the Cowboys, historically. As I told you before, I am not dissing on any player on the New York Giants. That has not... There's a little segment on Out of Pocket called Aged Well. My evaluations of the other team's players hasn't aged well over the last few weeks. It seems like I say something bad about a player, and the next thing you know, they go off and they're Superman. So God bless you, Daniel Jones. You're doing great. You're having an all-pro season. I hope you continue having that, just not that night.
Also, we can't really hate on Daniel Jones this week.
He's a Duke grad.
And we'll be enjoying a Duke UNC game this weekend.
Hey, Daniel, come on down. Well, no, this is after the game, so it's not going to help us. So, I mean, I would say come on down and let's get you drunk before you go out and play the Cowboys. But
if you want to make a trip to North Carolina real quick before you go back for a home game, it's not even on the way. You'd have to backtrack. You got enough money.
We'll start tailgating early. We no problem with that.
Hey, you have enough dimes, don't you, Danny? You have enough dimes. You can afford that. Come on down. We'll treat you. Beer's on us if you make the trip. So no worries there. What I am worried about is the run game. Dallas struggled against Alvin Kamara. Dallas struggled against Derrick Henry. Now, I'm not saying this in a slight at all. Don't get twisted. But Devin Singletary is not Derrick Henry. Devin Singletary is not Alvin Kamara. But Dallas's run defense, if there was ever a get-right game, this is the opportunity.
Well, I don't want to see Dallas make Devin Singletary look like Alvin Kamara or
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, what worries me about that and the run game is, they played one of the biggest backs in Derrick Henry, and now they're coming on a 4-day rest into the day and facing this other team that, has a running game. These boys are going to be hurt. They're going to be sore. Derrick Henry put a pounding in there. I'm not going to diss on their players. I hope you don't have a great game, but I do respect your ability. You're an NFL player. You're at the top of your profession. You're on one of the 32 teams.
Which not a lot of people do. We've watched through preseason action about a month ago, and we see a lot of people, not make roster cuts or get onto a practice squad. So it'll be Daniel Jones and Devin Singletary and rookie Malik Nabers. That's another reason I'm a little worried about, what happens with our secondary if Kalen Carson misses, if Marquise Bell misses. But Trayvon Diggs seems locked in and ready because, honestly, he's putting a lot of blame on himself for losing that game late.
For that third down completion, he took the full responsibility. He actually apologized not only to his teammates and the media, but he also apologized to Cowboys Nation.
We still love you.
We still love you. Definitely. Trayvon Diggs is awesome. Having met him and his son, Aiden at the Jaguars game, which Aiden, if you've never watched any of the stuff out there on him, he's amazing in interviews and stuff.
He's funny. He's got the funny bone.
He's funny. A showman at heart. And Trayvon's, coming back from injury, and it's going to take a little bit of time. This defense, most of these guys did not play under this system in preseason at all. So all they've got is practice in 3 games?
Yeah.
So we should start seeing it pick up, and hopefully that will be the case. Hopefully it starts this week because we can't go down 1-3 and be looking at from the bottom of the NFC East because we will start losing ground. And, of course, I'm going to have my prediction later.
We will get some predictions, but before we do that, we'll have our one-star matchup. Yeah. And before that, we have a commercial break for our lovely sponsors and people from the Fans First Sports Network. So if you're listening to us on FFSN, I got that right. I got that right.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, kudos right there.
Good job.
If you're listening to us on Fans First, that's a lot easier to say. We'll have a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to give our one-star, if you know, you know, if you know, you know, matchup, and as well as our prediction for the Cowboys and Giants game right after this break. Welcome back to Dad and the Boys. Michael Davis, my dad Mac. Thank you guys so much for making us a part of your day. This is a new day for us, but this is a one-time thing. We're playing a Thursday night game. We were like, hey, we need to preview this game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And again, we broke it earlier on this episode. Booking like a Mark asked, are we going to get to see you 3 times this week? You will, because we'll be back Saturday, 3 p.m. to break down this game in addition to that. So, with that being said, Cowboys-Giants, right now, it is a 5.5-point favorite for the Cowboys on the road. Their first NFC East matchup of the year. But it's going to come down to one matchup. Dad, what's that one-star matchup you're going to have your eyes on? He's in deep thought, by the way.
Offensive line, and one in particular, Mr. Beebe. You're going against Dexter Lawrence, and he is having a phenomenal season. Yes, his team is struggling just like ours to get in the win column this year, but he is having a great season. This is your welcome to the NFL moment, and hopefully you're up for the task, because if not, we're going to see Dak on his backside quite a bit. You've got to open up the running lanes. This defensive line and linebackers in the 3-4 for New York, they do a lot of blitzing. You're the man sitting there making the calls at the line of scrimmage for the blocking assignments. We can't have missed assignments at all. I got full faith in you. The coaching staff does. Make us proud this weekend or tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah. Make us proud tonight. The Cowboys and Giants play each other on Thursday night.
Which is a rarity, because we typically, our Thursday night games, usually road games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a road game, so we played at home on Sunday afternoon. Now we're traveling and got our Thursday night road game. Usually our Sunday to Thursday road games, or Sunday to Thursday games, is our Sunday afternoon wherever we're playing to our Thanksgiving Day game.
Yeah, and then we have the following Thursday,
whether usually on the road. So this is kind of rarity in our scheduling. I don't know what the NFL was thinking.
Yeah, and I have my own thoughts on Thursday night football not needing to be a thing. We don't get the best amount of football on Thursdays. In addition, it puts our players at risk. But I've ranted way too much on that. I'm really praying for a really safe game on both sides. I don't want to see any Giant player hurt. I don't want to see any Cowboy player hurt, because we're playing on Thursday night and we don't have a full week of rest. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be as kind as I can, because you really love this player. But if we need to right the ship, this is the guy who needs to show why he is the best defensive player in the NFL. Because I'm hearing all the talk about TJ Watt. I'm hearing all the talk about Myles Garrett. I'm hearing all that talk. But I truly believe Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the NFL. Now, for him to prove me right, he has to show up. I mean, you go to that left side and play against Andrew Thomas. You go to that right side. You go play against Jermaine Elamure. Like, I can't even pronounce his name. You know what name I can't pronounce? Micah Parsons. And everyone needs to be pronouncing that name this week, tonight, Thursday night football. Because Micah, all I'm hearing is, oh, he doesn't have a sack. Micah, go out and sack Daniel Jones 3 times. If you sack Daniel Jones 3 times, minimum, I think we come away with a win.
Well, and you got to understand, I mean, the last 2 weeks, the quarterbacks, neither quarterback has passed more than 16 times in the game. If you're only passing less than 16 times a game, that doesn't give Micah Parsons a lot of time to get to the quarterback. So defense, you need to stop the run game and make Daniel Jones pass.
Yeah. I would much rather have Daniel Jones and Malik Nabers beating us. And if that's the case, so be it. Rather than just getting run over. And that's not saying that I don't have faith in Daniel Jones or Malik Nabers to do it. I'm saying it's embarrassing as a football team of grown men when somebody's running down your throat.
Well, and they feel that slight too. But also you got to look at the simple fact that Micah Parsons weighs 240, 245 pounds. He's going up against offensive linemen over 300. That's a lot of weight to give up. Micah does not need to be playing defensive end in this game. It needs to be Marshawn Nealon and Carl Lawson.
I would love to see Carl Lawson.
Micah needs to be roaming. He doesn't need to be in one spot.
You always need the offense guessing.
He is the fastest player we got on defense.
Might as well put Overshown and Parsons at linebacker and just let it happen.
And
Leafau.
And Leafau and
Kendricks.
Kendricks. You put them at linebacker and you roll. But yeah, you have Nealon and the boy
DeMarcus Lawrence, Carl Lawson
playing defensive end. Maybe even some what's his name? I know number 99, who is
Chauncey
Golston. Have them playing defensive end, eating up those blocks of those offensive linemen. Give Micah Parsons where he's not going up against three guys that are 60, 70 pounds heavier than him.
Which I'm okay with Parsons having snaps at defensive end.
I am too, but he doesn't need to be predominantly there because then the offensive coordinator can game plan for that to eliminate.
That is true. That is what we've seen throughout the first few weeks of the season is eliminating Micah and his abilities.
And if you're running the ball successfully like the New Orleans Saints did and like the Baltimore Ravens did, and you're not passing the ball, Micah still had pressures. He just wasn't – those wasn't equating to sacks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mike could go out and prove my boy wrong. Let him.
I'm not wrong. Prove me right. 3 sacks. That you're the best defensive player in the league. Now Dallas is trying to avoid a 1-3 hole. Trying to win a very pivotal division game. I don't want to say must win, but divisional games always feel like you need this win, especially in a moment where you could fall down 1-3. So let's go ahead and give our final score predictions.
Before we do that, can I give Buck and Like a Mark a shout out?
Give him a shout out.
Thank you for all the lovely comments on the comment section for Dad and the boys. And guess what? We got a treat for you. If I can get this young man up Saturday morning before we need to head down to Durham for a 4 o'clock game and some tailgating before, we're going to drop a new show on Boom Broadcasting and Fans First Sports Network covering the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
And it's called Starstruck with Mac.
Starstruck with Mac. I like it.
So we hope to get the first episode out this Saturday before we head down to Durham to watch the Duke Blue Devils take on the Tar Heels. And if not, we'll definitely get it out this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can get him up. He's not an early riser in case
I'm not an early riser. But yeah, that just broke Starstruck, one of the newest podcasts of the Star Study Cowboys Network, brought to you by Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting. That is going to be a new episode in addition, and we're looking for other Cowboys content creators. So if you're interested, shoot a DM my way, a fly pigeon, however you send your bat signals to me. Would love to hear from you, and we'll see if we can make it work. But it's been awesome doing this show with Dad, and Dad and the boys is still continuing.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. We're just going to add to the
To the network.
To the network, yeah. We want to get more out there. You can't say enough about the Dallas Cowboys. We're America's team. We are the number one most loved or most hated franchise in the nation.
And Dad will talk Cowboys all day, every day.
I talk it in my sleep. My wife reaches over and slaps me and says, "Shut up. I don't want to hear about Micah Parsons." I said, "But baby, he's good."
You know what? Maybe Starstruck needs to be sleepy time with Mac. Yeah. Micah Parsons. Oh,
I still dream about Roger Staubach.
Pause. Final score prediction. Cowboys Giants. They're favored by 5.5 points. Dallas is. Dad, what you got?
Dallas by 1.
He's got Dallas by 1. This is tough. I feel like, I picked against the Cowboys last week, and they lost. I feel like this is a get-right game, and I don't want to overlook the Giants. I don't want to underestimate them, because division games can go either way.
Yeah, they're unpredictable. I remember watching the 1-15 Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Redskins, who is, at that time, they were like contending for Super Bowls.
Yeah.
In Aikman's rookie year. And Aikman didn't even start that game. It was Steve, what was his name? Steve Walsh.
Yeah.
Started as quarterback. Aikman was actually out with an injury at that game. Division games, no matter how good the team is or how bad the team is, those are tough contests because you play them twice a year, every year. So you know the team better than the other opponents that you're out there facing. So, it could go either way.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas hasn't stopped their run defense and Devin Singletary gets in a rhythm. Daniel Jones starts using his legs kind of like Lamar Jackson did. But Dallas, it's a must-win. It is a must-win. Cowboys fans travel well. In addition to that, we haven't been on the road since week 1. I feel like we get our mojo back. But 5.5 points, that's a lot. I feel like it's going to be closer than that. Give me Dallas, not by 1. Give me Dallas by 2. And I don't know if that comes on Aubrey field goal. I don't know if that, just comes from a big stop. I don't know how that's going to end. But hopefully it ends.
Mike Parsons third sack for a safety. How's that?
Hey, that'll work. That'll work. If that ages well, we're clipping that, by the way. Guys, that's been our episode. And again, we'll be back Saturday with more content for you.
And for those of you that were looking to adopt my son, he's kept his family name for another week, by the way.
Let's go! That's the whole reason I did this podcast, to kind of redeem myself when I get in trouble in other areas of my life, including picking against the Cowboys last week. And yeah, I think that was the only time I picked against them. Did I pick against them in Cleveland? I can't remember.
No. I didn't disown you that week.
That's good. That's good. Well, guys, this has been Dad and the Boys. Dad and the Boys will be back on Saturday, recapping what happens tonight. Cowboys and Giants. Look out for Starstruck, that new episode with Mac. You're not going to see this face on here, but you're going to see the face that made this face. So, guys, thank you so much for watching Dad and the Boys on Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting. And we got to get out of here. But remember, this is our first rodeo, and we'll catch you here next time.